Do you think using AI to manage your language learning is a good idea? I don't mean using some AI function in a proper language app. You can't get away from that these days. I mean using one of the large language models to actually teach you a language by itself. Everything, from scratch. Because I know people are doing this, I've heard them say it. So here are a list of reasons why it is probably a bad idea. And these are things you can test out in your own language where they'll be more obvious. Large language models repeat things way too much. I'm sure you've seen all those passages where large language models keep repeating the same phrase every other sentence. This is not natural language. In fact, they tend to use many words at a different frequency to what we would use in normal speech. They will repeat names and other nouns way more than they need to when making a point. They also tend to use old-fashioned language, words that are not in common usage these days. So when they are giving you examples of the language, they're going to do the same thing, which won't be contemporary natural language. Large language models tend to go for positivity rather than negativity, and real language is chock full of negativity. This may sound like a bad thing. Negative language is not good, right? Even if that is the case, and I don't necessarily think it is, you need to learn all aspects of the language. Because if you're overly positive in everything you say, people are, quite frankly, going to be suspicious of you. I certainly would be. The large language models follow grammar rules in a grammar police fashion. Again, you might think this is good. And it might be when you start. But that isn't how people actually speak or write. It's too formal. It will make you sound very odd if you parrot it. Language, certainly spoken language, is very much not formal most of the time. It uses idioms, abstract ideas, expressive phrases, and sometimes it doesn't even make sense if you analyse it. Following on from that, how many times have you not fully understood something in your own language because an expression has been used that might be some very localised idiom? Imagine how a large language model deals with that. It will probably take it literally because it can't do anything else. It will almost certainly misconstrue it and possibly throw that back at some unfortunate, random language learner with very likely a weird interpretation. An app using a large language model will have a certain number of real people, probably not enough of them, but some moderating such things. If you go straight to the source, that won't happen. You're on your own with your teacher. Large language models have difficulty using emotional language. And you know what actual people are like with that. Computers are matter of fact, and up until now, that's all we wanted them to be. Now we want them to be emotional? That's a slippery slope. Their current attempts are cringeworthy and over the top at the very least. Creepy might be a better word. And why are all these things the case? Because large language models don't actually understand what they're saying. They're predicting which word comes next. I heard someone describe it as like predictive text on your phone when you're typing, and I'd never thought of it quite like that, but it is. Except it just gives you the option it's chosen, rather than 3 different possibilities. Well, unless you ask the question multiple times and take an average of the responses. No, nobody's going to do that, because it could get you in a right old tangle with language learning. So it has made a choice for you. How often does predictive text get every word right? Which leads me on to, if you ask a large language model a question about a language, something grammar-based, they are also predicting the answer, using a whole host of sources that may or may not be correct. They don't know the answer. And it is a known trait that they don't like No, they don't really have feelings. Maybe accept would be a better word. They don't accept not having an answer to something. So they might make something up to avoid your disappointment. There's your hallucinations. I wonder if that non-acceptance was built in to keep you on the platform. Answers on a postcard, please. Plus, and this comes straight from the horse's mouth, Google AI search. Western centricity. Many models are predominantly trained on English, leading to poor performance and higher hallucination rates in other languages. Let's be honest, that probably wasn't straight from the horse's mouth. It probably stole that from somewhere, because everything it spouts back at you has been stolen from somewhere. Yes, I know some models are now paying for some of what they use, but that's a tiny fraction of the information that has already been used. Some model, somewhere, will use this video's transcript. You can be sure of it. But, and this might be the scariest thing of all, if everyone starts learning languages using a large language model as their tutor, they will all end up sounding like an over-enthusiastic, positive, archaic, and repetitive large language model. Is that how you want to sound?